The global economic landscape is facing fresh uncertainty as US President Donald Trump, now in his second term, has announced sweeping tariffs on imports. The new policy imposes a 10% baseline tariff on all imports to the US, with even higher duties targeting key trading partners. Canada and Mexico are exempt from this new baseline, but previous tariffs of up to 25% remain over concerns tied to border security and fentanyl trafficking. Reactions from world leaders have been swift and strong, with warnings of economic retaliation and a deepening trade war. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen called Trump's move a major blow to the world economy, saying it would fuel uncertainty and escalate protectionism. The EU is already preparing countermeasures on steel and has warned of further actions if negotiations fail. China's Commerce Ministry condemned the tariffs, vowing retaliation to protect its interests. Calling trade wars a lose lose situation, Beijing has urged Washington to immediately withdraw unilateral tariffs and return to fair trade discussions. From Tokyo, Japanese Prime Minister voiced deep concerns about the tariffs, citing their impact on global trade stability and questioning their alignment with WTO and Japan US trade agreements. In Canada, Prime Minister Mark Carney acknowledged that Trump's decision preserves elements of the US Canada trade relationship, but lamented that steel and aluminum and fentanyl related tariffs remain in place. He vowed to implement countermeasures to protect Canadian industries. UK Prime Minister issued a measured response, stating that nobody wins in a trade war, while maintaining that negotiations for an economic prosperity deal with the US were ongoing. Germany, a major US trading partner, has taken a hard stance. Chancellor Olaf Scholz called the tariffs fundamentally wrong and an attack to global trade stability. German Economy Minister Robert Habeck echoed these sentiments, urging Europe to apply pressure on the US to reverse course. French Prime Minister Francois described the move as a catastrophe not just for Europe but for American consumers and businesses as well. In the Southern Hemisphere, Australia's Prime Minister denounced the decision as illogical and harmful to US Australia relations, warning that it would raise costs for American households. Latin America has also expressed outrage. Brazil's foreign ministry criticized the new 10% duty on Brazilian exports, warning of reciprocal action through the World Trade Organization. In South Korea, acting President Han Duck-soo called the tariff escalation a global trade war reality, pledging full governmental efforts to mitigate the crisis. New Zealand's Trade Minister Todd McClay has said his government would be engaging with the US administration to understand the impact on Kiwi exporters. Spain, Sweden, and Switzerland all emphasize the importance of open trade and economic cooperation, with Spain's Pedro Sanchez promising to shield Spanish companies and workers from economic harm. In Ireland, Prime Minister strongly condemned the US move, warning that the 20% tariffs imposed on EU imports were deeply regrettable and harmful to Irish jobs. Italy's Giorgia Meloni struck a diplomatic tone, urging negotiations to avoid a damaging trade war that would weaken Western economies. From Brussels, Manfred Weber, president of the European People's Party, issued a sharp rebuke, calling Trump's tariff an attack on fair trade motivated by fear rather than strategy. In South America, Colombian President Gustavo Petro emphasized that retaliation would be calculated, ensuring US goods would only face higher tariffs if they directly threatened local jobs. As tensions rise and countries prepare countermeasures, the world is bracing for the potential fallout of another US led trade war. Will these tariffs strengthen the American economy, or will they lead to a cycle of economic retaliation and global instability? Stay with us for continued coverage.